deadly bear Mauling, an elderly homeowner, and his dog was killed by black bear in South Florida. Let's deep dive.
Okay, let's jump right in today. We're looking at a really serious and pretty upsetting story coming out of Florida.
Yeah, this one definitely caught my attention.
It involves an 89-year-old man, Robert Markle, and his dog. They were found deceased, and authorities suspect a fatal bear attack. This happened in Collier County, down near Everglades City.
And what's really making headlines here is the statement from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the FWC.
Right. What are they saying?
They're indicating this could actually be the first recorded fatal bear attack in Florida's history, which is, well, it's quite something.
Wow. Okay, so historically incredibly rare, even though bears are definitely present there.
Exactly. It really highlights how infrequent these absolute worst-case encounters have been.
Let's talk about the location. Mr. Markle's property in Jerome. It's described as, pretty rural, isolated, east of Naples, right on the edge of the big cypress swamp area.
Yeah, south of the wildlife management area, too. So prime wildlife territory. You'd expect encounters, though obviously not like this.
And the discovery itself. It sounds like Mr. Markle's daughter might have actually witnessed part of it. An attack on the dog, reportedly.
That's what the initial reports are saying, and then the 911 call came in, but it seems like it was after the suspected attack on Mr. Markle had already happened.
Which suggests, just chaos, right? A really terrible, fast-moving situation.
It does. In that kind of remote spot, communication issues, the shock of it all, it could explain any delay. The investigation will need to piece that timeline together carefully.
Absolutely. And it's a full-on investigation now. The DNA testing is happening. That's the crucial part, isn't it? To confirm it was a bear involved in both deaths.
Definitely. Can't just assume. Wildlife officers have secured the area. They've set, 4 bear traps?
4 traps, yeah. And then there's this other development. A dead bear was found not far away. Apparently, residents heard some loud noises beforehand.
Okay, so that's obviously a major focus now. Could that be the bear? What were the noises? A gunshot? Something else?
Lots of questions there.
But again, jumping to conclusions is risky. The DNA is going to be the definitive link or, rule it out. And the FWC is rightly pointing out the bear responsible might still be out there.
Right. So the Collier County Sheriff's Office, the FWC, they're treating this very seriously as an active investigation. Need all the facts. Could be one bear, could be more than one.
Right, exactly. They need to keep all possibilities open until the evidence, particularly that DNA evidence, tells the story. It's about getting it right, especially when a human life has been lost in this way.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. This isn't the only bear incident in Florida recently. It's the second reported mauling this year, but the first suspected fatal one.
And there's a wider pattern emerging, it seems.
Yeah.
The sources mention, at least 15 cases since late 2020 involving bears attacking dogs specifically?
Yeah, 15. And even in Collier County, there was another incident back in 2018, though thankfully not fatal. So while death by bear is exceptionally rare, maybe these interactions, these conflicts, are happening more often.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why might we be seeing more encounters, even if most aren't severe?
What are some possibilities?
Well, you've got the obvious one. More people. Florida's population keeps growing, pushing into areas that were once primarily bear habitat.
Right, development pressure.
Yeah. And that can fragment their habitat, change how they move, maybe make them more likely to encounter people or, seek out easy food sources near homes, garbage cans, pet food.
The usual attractants.
Exactly. Plus, there could be other factors, maybe shifts in natural food availability in certain areas. It's complex.
And the bears we're talking about are Florida black bears.
Yeah.
The only native species there. Population estimate is around 4,000, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, 4,000 to 4,050 is the official FWC estimate, spread across the state.
Which doesn't sound like a huge number for a whole state, but maybe concentrated in certain areas.
Well, it's about density and overlap. Even with 4,000 bears, if they're increasingly sharing space with, 22 million people, you're going to get more encounters.
Makes sense. And despite the odds being incredibly low for a fatal attack one source said 1 in 2.1 million. Citing the World Animal Foundation.
Astronomical odds, really.
Still, the FWC has clear advice for what you should do if you see one. Stay calm, first off, don't run.
Crucial. Running can trigger that predator chase response you mentioned. You want to back away slowly, don't make direct eye contact, signal you're not a threat.
And this part is stark.
Yeah.
If you're attacked, fight back. Use whatever you can.
It sounds terrifying, but it's important advice. Black bears, unlike say grizzlies in some situations, can often be deterred if the person fights back aggressively. They're powerful, but they might decide it's not worth the effort or risk.
The FWC even notes that people have fought them off successfully, sometimes with just bare hands or simple objects.
Yeah, it's empowering information in a way. It tells you you're not completely helpless, that your actions matter immensely in that critical moment. Respect the animal, be cautious, but know how to react.
Okay, so this awful event, it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It connects directly to these ongoing and probably quite heated discussions about bear management in Florida.
Absolutely. The timing is significant. The FWC just held public meetings in April about potentially bringing back a regulated bear hunt.
A hunt. Wow. That hasn't happened in a while, has it?
Nearly a decade. The last one, back in 2015, I think, was stopped early because the quota was met really quickly. Lots of bears were killed, and it was controversial then, too.
And now there's a specific proposal on the table for the area, including Collier County.
Yes, a proposal to harvest up to 55 bears across Lee, Collier, and Hendry counties. It's actually scheduled for public review very soon, May 7th.
So this incident is going to land right in the middle of that debate.
Oh, undoubtedly. It's going to intensify everything. You'll have people arguing hunting is necessary for safety and population control, citing this tragedy, and others raising major ethical flags, questioning the effectiveness, pointing to habitat loss as the real issue.
Yeah, that history with the last hunt stopping early definitely complicates things. Strong feelings on both sides, I imagine.
Deeply held beliefs, for sure. This incident provides a very stark, very tragic backdrop to those policy discussions.
It really does.
Oh.
It's just a horrible reminder of the risks involved when people and large wildlife share landscapes, especially somewhere like Florida, with so much development pressure alongside wild areas.
And it forces us to confront these really tough questions about how we manage wildlife, how we ensure public safety, and how we behave in bear country. Are things like bear-proof trash cans enough? Do we need different land use planning? What is the role, if any, of something like a regulated hunt?
Yeah, it's complex. There are no easy answers.
None at all. This event, as rare and tragic as it is, really puts the spotlight on that intersection of conservation, public safety, and human responsibility.
So as the investigation proceeds, and as the FWC holds these public discussions about management options like the hunt, it really prompts you, the listener, to think about it all. How do we navigate this? How do we find that balance between protecting wildlife and protecting people, especially if these kinds of encounters, even the non-fatal ones, are becoming more common? It's a fundamental challenge for Florida's future.
What safety measures should bear-prone area residents take to avoid such dangerous encounters? Comment it. Thanks.